Hello, and thank you for visiting today. I'd like to tell you about bamboo. Bamboo is one of the classic subjects in Chinese brush painting. It's one of the four gentlemen or the four seasons, and it's very respected because the bamboo yields and it doesn't break. And this is a characteristic that the Chinese gentleman scholars really admired so much. So they practice painting the bamboo in order to be one with the bamboo. So ordinarily we do see bamboo paintings done in ink, and the ink I'm going to use today is Japanese ink. And many times people will grind their own ink. They'll use an ink stone, and then the ink is made out of pine soot that's mixed with an oil. And this well in the inkstone is called the ocean, and this is called the land. And you would put water in the ocean, and then you would grind the ink. And it takes about 5 to 7 minutes. And when the ink is completely ground, it's just beautiful. You'll see little bubbles in the ink, and then you know it's ready. Now, I've not ground my own ink for years because I'm already mellow and ready to go. I just want to get right to the painting. So I use this already ground ink, this instant ink, and it works beautifully. Now, the brush that I'm going to use today is called an orchid bamboo brush, and it's a hard brush. The hard brushes are made out of wolf or deer hair, and they have a lot of flexibility or bounce to them. First, I should show you how the brush is held. It's held between the thumb and the forefinger, and just like rolling a cigar. I know you all are expert at doing that. And then the middle finger also goes along for the ride and rolls that cigar. And then the ring finger is behind, and that really stabilizes the brush. And then the index finger, if you move it up, you really have great control. It feels strange at first, but after a while, when you get used to it, you'll see that you're holding a fountain pen or a pencil the same manner. And for the most control, you would hold it closer to the bristles, and for less control, if you're painting tendrils, you would hold it further back. Okay, so using my orchid bamboo brush, and also I'm going to use a brush that's called the Best Detail brush. It's much smaller, but it's still a hard brush made out of wolf or deer hair. And you can see that it comes to a nice point. These are all handmade, by the way. And I'm going to use straight ink, and I want my brush to be fairly dry to do this. What I'm going to do first for you are the stems for the bamboo leaves. And to do that, you're going to have a little bit of hesitation at the beginning and the end of each stroke. And the angles are very narrow. You can see that the angle between each stroke is very, very narrow. And so I can go in another direction, like so. And this is really the framework. If you think of building a house, the wooden framework, that's what this is. This is going to tell you where your leaves are going to be placed. And after you do that, you would go back to the orchid bamboo brush that I showed you initially and really get it loaded, saturated with ink. Now, my brush had been wet. I removed the moisture, went into the ink, and now I'm going to take out as much of that moisture as I can. The reason being that the more water that you have in your brush, the more tendency for your work to run on the paper, especially when you're using ink. Okay, now what you'll want to know and pay attention to is that when you do a bamboo leaf stroke, you don't move your fingers. The movement is entirely from the shoulder. And you can just see, there'll be no movement of my fingers. And all you do is land and take off. And you want the leaf to have that shape. It's like a fish. It has a rounded start, and then it's going to taper off at the end. And it's very important that it has that shape. You don't want it to have any curlicues. And so to do another one, just like so. And again, no movement of the fingers. And here I'm just going to go up on the brush and then down. And then if you're going to go in a different direction and your brush has formed a shape, don't try and straighten out the brush. You want to turn it so that you're working with that shape that you've already created. And so I'm going up and then I'm going down again. All right, now, if your brush should split at the end, that's just fine. Don't worry about that. And we're going to do one more stroke. And you can see, let's do a couple at the end. This is called Rainy Day Bamboo. So all the brushes and all the subjects have such beautiful names. Anyway, Rainy Day Bamboo, all the leaves would go down. I think I like painting Rainy Day Bamboo the most because it just seems to flow. And of course the young leaves always do go up. So that is how we do the bamboo leaf stroke. And I'm just